Hey Steph, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Very good, thanks for getting out here with the brand new Z8. You're our test subject.
It's very cool.
How long have you had the camera in your hands?
About 2 minutes.
Yep, sounds good, okay.
Yep.
And I'm sporting your beautiful Z9 here, so just holding on to this for you. If you need it back, tell me, but I'm dying for you to try the Z8 and let us know what you think.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Even we were just shooting before, we've got the gorgeous Georgia here, just shooting you know, something a bit cool, a bit raw, some sort of casual fashion sort of stuff. Even just shooting it, it's bright, middle of the day.
Yeah, I was excited to test that out because they reckon the viewfinder is amazing for bright, crazy conditions like this.
It's so bright and you just see everything so clearly, and it's just the no blackout is amazing. Absolutely
excellent.
Amazing. I just love it. I rely on it all the time. And even just the size of the 8 feels really good. I've actually got a really heavy, this 85 is a big lens that I've got on. It's a beautiful portrait lens.
F1.2, pretty gorgeous.
Just gorgeous, and it doesn't feel heavy, which is big one for me. And it just, the actual body feels really compact, like nice size, and kind of feels like, and the grip sort of feels like the 850. Yep. Just feels really ergonomical, easy to use. You know,
it's a nice in between because you've got the Z6 and 7, they're a bit smaller again. Z9's quite big for those who want like a more big, solid, chunky camera. And the tech is like almost identical. If not, they've added a couple of things, but then it's not as small as those like Z6 and 7, but not as big as this. So it's just a nice in between.
Yeah,
fantastic. And then even the back screen.
Quite clear, it's beautiful. And you know, I do love being able to shoot like this when you need to, you know, and if you want to get down a bit lower, you know, it's nice to be able to do this and shoot, you know, a little bit with the screen. It's like easier than having to sort of go all the way down here, you know, and bend down and get the shots. So it's much calmer and nicer on your back.
Standard shooting camera, 120 frames a second. So mental. So I think we're ticking off the boxes. Nikon was excited to put into this beast of a machine. So
yeah, all right, let's take some shots.
Go for it.
Cool. Go in a bit closer, do that again. Laugh. Love that. That's cool. And just amazing. And just give me a big laugh. That's it.
So sitting to my left is fashion photographer extraordinaire Stef King. Steph, thanks for being here.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So tell me a bit more. I know you do a lot more than just fashion. So tell me a bit about your career, how you got started, and what you shoot.
Sure. I've been a photographer for 20 years. I've always shot Nikon.
Awesome.
And I shoot fashion. Predominantly started my career as a fashion photographer, evolved into more advertising, commercial work. So I photograph advertising jobs, editorial, magazine work, magazine covers, and editorial portraits. And yeah, all sorts of different things. Every day's different.
I heard you got something coming out on the cover of the Australian soon.
Yes, I do.
It's very exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. That's coming out. I wonder, it might come out tomorrow, it could come out next week. I'm not sure. So
what was that shot on?
That was shot on the Z9.
Nice.
Yes.
And let's get into a bit of camera tech spec stuff. So, sitting here is the Z8, and I know I only called you about this a couple of hours ago.
Yes.
And so, like, run on down, and we managed to organise a model, Georgia from Chadwick's, and we found an awesome location, bright sunlight outdoors in this old graffiti area. So
yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
What was it like?
Right next to the camera shot was like perfect. I was like, right, let's do this.
Fantastic.
You know, threw a few things together.
What was it like? What were the things that just stood out?
It was good. It very much felt like the little sister to the Z9. You know, gorgeous, felt great to hold. sort of had the same sort of body size as the D850, which was my camera for a long, my favourite camera for a long time. It's a great addition.
Yeah, because you know, the
Nikon
Z6 and 7, I mean, they're quite small compared to Z9, so this is a nice in between.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And so, could you see yourself adding this to your kit, and if so, for what reason?
Definitely, I think having the two bodies in my kit would be fantastic. You know, you could see myself shooting with the Z9 with one lens and the Z8 with a different lens, and they're so similar in the, you know, how they feel when you're looking through them and everything, that and how they function, that it'd be a bit of a no-brainer.
Oh, okay, easy. And I know, like, from tech specs, they're so similar, but one thing that does stand out, and it does help with form factor, is it's, for the tech geeks out there on video, it's 8K 60 frames a second.
Yeah.
So imagine, even though you don't do a lot of video, you might be able to start using that, and having the smaller body, if it was sitting on some sort of gimbal or frame, would be better.
Yeah, correct. And, you know, shooting stills on one camera and then having the other camera for video is
so that's
something,
another way to
another way to do it.
Kit.
If you're doing both, it's a nice way to do it.
Yeah, for sure. And then like 400 grams lighter, that doesn't hurt.
Exactly.
You know, especially when you're shooting a lot. I know you were saying you did a crazy shoot outdoors the other day with the Z9. Just tell us a bit about that.
The time-lapse one?
Yeah. That's
So we were shooting a 48-hour time-lapse.
That's a serious time-lapse.
It was to be a 24-hour time-lapse, but we wanted to extend it so we had double the shots. So the Z9 was sitting out, we were shooting in the middle of Western Australia. It was 42-degree heat during the day, like it was hot. We were sitting in the car with the aircon while the camera was outside.
You mentioned that part, and I was like,
on a tripod, you know, shooting every 30 seconds. I kept on popping out to check on it, to check the battery. It was fine. It just worked like a...
How often did you even have to change the battery then?
Like I changed it every 8 hours, just because I was like, oh, I feel like I should just change it now.
Oh, really?
You know, it never died on me, ever. It was pretty... And then it started raining. We had summer thunderstorms out there. It wasn't pouring with rain, but it was big, heavy raindrops. And it just sat there and just did its job. And
the Z8's got like all the same sort of weather sealing, so that could handle that as well.
Yeah, so dust-proof, waterproof. By the looks of it, sounds like it's going to be exactly the same.
I know that they were so excited about like the fully stacked sensor, and then how that works with because that'll be like, I think the only one in the world that is the fully stacked sensor in that form factor of body, and then that also helps with the blackout with the EVF.
Yeah. So the no blackout is just something I use all the time. Like that.
And that's only the Z9.
Yeah, and the Z8 now has that as well. So that's fantastic. It's just organic, that you don't really even, it just feels so natural to shoot that way. Like it just, even doing image review, like it's so bright, like this, you know, the image review is so bright that it's, even when we're shooting outside today, it was so sunny.
I know, it was crazy sunny there,
and you can just see everything that's happening. You can check your exposures, you can check your composition, and you know, it's just...
Even the LCD screen, because it's the same on both cameras, so even if you're just showing a client just the back screen.
Yeah.
And we were bright out there today, and you were able to see everything beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. You can see it, you can zoom in, you know, touch screen, zoom in, see what you're looking, you know, get right in there and see the focus and what you're looking at, check out, you know, all your shots. And
check out a nice bouquet from a possibly new addition there.
Yeah, we were shooting on the new 85, which was just beautiful, and such beautiful big new lens. I'd like to add this one to my kit.
Fantastic. What would you shoot with that out of all your different genres that you shoot?
So I shoot a lot of editorial portraits. So this would be a lens that I would lean on heavily for something like that. And a lot of beauty work, beauty and sort of close-up fashion work, quite controlled lighting situations. This would just be gorgeous for that style of work. Yeah, and it was nice, you know, the 80 fat lens being on the Z8. You know, it's quite a big lens, so you know, having the smaller body just worked really nicely.
Awesome.
It was nice shooting out there. I was just saying before, when we were shooting, it was really interesting. You know, you forget sometimes, but you know, with the mirrorless, like you're shooting at 5.6, and I pulled it all the way back to 1.2, and you know, you can literally see the bokeh, and you can literally see it changing on the green, and it's just
because it's such a bright responsive EVF and the also LCD screen on the back. That would be insane.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the things, I don't know if you would use it in your side of photography, or maybe it's for other photographers, but that new HEIF file format, where can you see that fitting in?
Yeah, so I guess if you're a sports photographer or a press photographer, you know, having that new file type to be able to, you know, shoot off straight away. I think it's got like more colour spectrum, more colour in it than a JPEG. Which sounds really interesting, and you know, even for me, sometimes I'll shoot raw and high res, high JPEG as well, or now might be high HEIF. So that'll be really interesting to see what that's like as well. Can't wait to get the files home and have a look.
Very nice.
Because I did that. I shot raw and
today did you? Oh, great.
Yeah, and
so get us those files as
HEIF
quick as possible,
as well, so that we can
add them into the video.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
No, I want to thank you so much for coming out today and short nose and testing it, and I'm really excited to see your shots.
Oh, I think this is going to be, I think a lot of people are going to love this camera, and can't wait to see what everyone thinks.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Oh, one quick little thing I want to add is they jumped up from a 45 to a 45.7 megapixel in the sensor, and they're using the X-Speed 7 processor, and for those that want to shoot that way, it can do 120 frames per second.
Yep.
Exciting.
Awesome.
Thanks so much, Steph.
You're welcome. Thanks
Cheers.
for having me.